Hey everybody, welcome back. It is the Fantasy Rugby Inc. podcast. My name is Jarrod Dyke.
I'm Ben Glauser.
We are recording from just outside Boston, Massachusetts. It's Wednesday. We're back to our semi-normal day for a little while, at least.
I'd like to keep you on your toes as to when we may or may not pod.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's a great thing, actually, but you know, it is what it is. We're making it happen.
Well, if you're
we do have day jobs and stuff like that too, which kind of sucks. But
if you're doing the right thing and have us on automatic download, it shouldn't matter. You should just get the notification.
That's also true.
That your pod has downloaded and you're ready to listen to us.
Yeah, assuming people do that.
They better.
Let's crack some beer. Which one do you want?
Oh, I will go with the Castle Island.
Yeah, okay. No complaints here. Everybody make sure you check us out on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and like Ben was talking about, subscribe to us so you can know when the pod is ready to go. Review us, send us an email, which I'll give at the end of the show. No questions this week so far, at least, so maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's also, without the Premiership.
Yeah, there's less to talk about.
Right, there's less to ask about.
Yeah, there's that less chance that somebody's going to be curious as to, I wonder what I should do.
Nice head. What the hell did you went to college? You can pour better than that, Jarrod.
I went to college. Doesn't mean I remember everything. You're assuming a lot there. You're assuming a whole lot.
See, you learn stuff other than drinking beer, whereas
yeah,
all I can do is pour beer.
See, I learned how to drink. I didn't necessarily learn how to pour.
Okay.
There's the difference. There's the difference. I got somebody to do that shit for me.
See that? Yeah, there you go.
Which can result in other problems, but that's a different story for a different day.
All right. Tastes funny.
Oh, slip me a Mickey. Oh man. Okay, but so before we get into Champions Cup, let's talk about something that was a big miss on me, and I had it in my brain, and what do you know? You don't write it down, you don't remember it.
Exactly.
So the Premiership did a big thing the other week. It was called Restart Rugby. It was something that was sponsored by the Rugby Players Association. It's a big thing where they're trying to get people that are retiring from rugby, and you're talking about guys that have been told what to do, where to go. Assuming they were in an academy system for at least 5 or 6 years, if not longer. Right. A couple of guys, a lot longer. Yeah. So it's kind, and I can understand the whole that just dealing with that alone is a challenge where, you're going to be here at this time in this place. And we were talking about exact stuff. We're not talking about like generalities, like when you go to a job.
Your day is planned out for you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for them.
Your week's planned out for you,
right.
Pretty much.
You may have a little bit of leeway at certain times, but
right.
You have your meetings, you have your trainings, you have your film sessions and whatnot that are all strictly scheduled. And so you have to work your own free time around that. So, and
right.
that's true of any sport. When guys retire, suddenly they have so much more time on their hands and no structure whatsoever.
Yeah, and they're lost. They're
right.
just like, what do I do? And, we can both speak on this, I think, in terms of what it does to you socially and mentally, in terms of you step away and it's like, I can speak to my experience at least. I stepped away for a year,
mm-hmm.
and in that year, it was really, really weird, but also in a way, it got to me. It got to me in a way I didn't expect it to
mm-hmm.
get to me. Like, I'd watch a match and I'd be like, oh man, I miss hanging out. Just the hanging out, if nothing else. Just the dressing room and the locker room and the car rides.
Seeing the new dudes, yeah, I miss that.
And the drink ups afterwards were with just a good social camaraderie atmosphere, and it got to me a lot worse than I thought it would. And Catherine's like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" I was just like, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. And obviously hindsight, I can put my finger on it. Yeah, that was missing.
Yeah.
And I was busy with things that I thought I wanted, and then I decided I didn't want them anymore, but took a year for me to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what happens. So for me, it's a big thing to have something to get you over that hump and get you over that, and to talk to somebody that understands that. Right. So, and for you, you've stepped away recently, more or less, but you've found ways to stay involved. But I'm not sure where you've been at.
I had a little bit of practice with this because I played football, American football in college, and I retired after my sophomore year, going in right before my junior year.
Okay.
It was somewhat of a political thing, but also a little bit of the coach was kind of trimming the fat, and I didn't have a real defined position. So he kind of was putting me somewhere where I didn't want to be in the hopes that I would quit. And I did. I saw the writing on the wall. I said, you know what, this isn't what I want to do. The hardest part is, it's also different in a college atmosphere because you're around the same people all the time anyway.
All the time.
And it was weird. I didn't want to be around the football team anymore, but those were some of my best friends.
Mm.
So it's a little bit of I'm still in the same social circles. It took me a year, same thing, until I walked by the football frat, and my old roommate was I wasn't in the football frat, but he was my roommate before we were able to pledge. And he was out drinking on his balcony. He's like, "Hey, Glauser." I'm like, "Oh, what's up, Cameron?" And he's like, "Yeah, come on up. We're drinking." I'm like, "Oh, hell yeah." And everybody's like, "Oh, Glauser." Like, it was like, "Ben's here. It's great. This is awesome." I was like, the fuck? Like, I didn't realize that I felt like I couldn't hang out because I wasn't on the team. Mm-hmm. I had to go do my own thing, but that's not the case. So it's hard to know where the boundary is because you don't want to be that guy who's like still sniffing jocks and is like, "Oh, hey guys, how's it going? I can't play." Nobody wants to be that guy. But so I had to kind of deal with that myself and find other things to do and whatnot until I realized that no, it's okay. They don't hate me. I didn't leave them. It was just, this is what happens. I mean, fuck, half of them had quit too.
There you
go. So it really wasn't a big deal. But so with rugby, it's much more impactful to me when I had to miss time because I was injured. Because I would go to matches and be like,
that's tough.
I want to play and I physically can't, and it ate me up. Mm-hmm. So, but I also had, like I said, a little bit of training before that. So I was already somewhat prepared for figuring out what to do. And when you're in college too, you're studying, you have all this stuff to do. When you have a sport that takes up 5 hours or so a day, whether you're lifting or practicing or whatever, before you can really start getting into, studying.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you have that much more time on your hands. And that's the same thing. When you're in college, you have so few responsibilities.
Yeah.
So I kind of experienced that because I was like, wow, I can just do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
Like I can have a beer at 3 p.m. after class because it doesn't really matter. I don't have to go to training afterwards.
Right.
So yeah, it's a big adjustment. And if you're a professional, that's all you have to do.
Oh God, I can only
now
imagine.
It's your whole day. Like you don't even have to worry about class. You're just
going. You're there to play rugby.
You wake up in the day and that's all you have to do. That's tough.
Yeah, it can be another level of tough for sure. And I think this is a great thing that Restart Rugby is doing, the RPA are doing, to get guys back on their feet and get guys, to...
So what are they doing?
So they're just like helping them figure out how to work a regular job.
Okay.
And again, they're also providing like counseling. Mm-hmm. Somebody was on Pod the other week, and he was talking about, I think it was Lambert from Quinn's.
Okay.
He's a big head of the RPA and big into this particular part of it. I think it's great. It's and it's not unlike what and this is a credit to the Saracens, what they're trying to do, where say what you will about the salary cap, they're trying to take care of their guys. Yes, they go to work for the Saracens sponsors, but they have like Joe Conlon, who just retired from the Saracens because of injury. You can't tell me he's not extra thankful that he's got a job to go to because of the Saracens.
Right.
Having had to step away because injuries happen, and really bad injuries happen, unfortunately. It's part of the game. And,
like who was the guy who has his arm paralyzed? I can't remember who.
Off the top of my head, I'm drawing a blank. But yeah, I get what you're saying. But still, just to have that... have that to go to, and you can't tell me he's not so appreciative of the Saracens to have stuff like that. So
and the reason
it's more this.
Right. And the reason I asked that is so we can all kind of make sure we know what we're talking about. Because you look at, and to bring it back to American sports, you look at football players who quit, how many of them end up broke, and how many of them end up like homeless.
Sorry, that's not a funny thing. But
it's not funny, but it's because they don't know how to handle themselves away from the sport. So this is something that it's great that rugby's doing. and it must be brought into other sports. It's gotta.
Yes.
This is something that has to grow and has to spread to other sports, especially American sports, where guys have that much more money from their careers.
Spend it wisely, guys.
Right. They need to know how to do it, and even especially after their careers. It's some guys like to blow it while they're playing, and that's fine. It happens.
No,
They're still going to have something. Nobody leave. Very few. I shouldn't say nobody. Very few people leave the NFL with nothing in their bank account.
Yeah,
most of them should.
Longer than 5.
Right. You play 3 to 5 years in the NFL. You should have enough. Even if you spend stupidly, you should still have enough that you can live comfortably with a job, a reasonable job outside of sports.
Right.
But they need to have the training to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
And that's starting. There's a lot of teams that are having like internships and things like that.
Yeah, and that's great. They excuse me. But they need to do stuff like that.
Yeah, but the counseling is important too.
Yeah, and it is. And it is the mental part, because I can tell you that I'm already dealing with it in terms of some of my players.
Right.
And it's baffling how many people have come forward saying it's going on upstairs. I'm like, okay, so what's going to happen after they're done?
Yeah.
I can imagine how many guys playing right now are dealing with issues, let alone afterwards.
Well, everybody has issues, so everybody's dealing with something, some more than others. And and if you have some people, they need the structure. That keeps them from going nuts. And that's a bad way to put it, but that keeps them from doing something destructive to themselves or others.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I agree.
I should put it that more respectfully.
Yeah. No, you're right in that. So yeah, it's a great thing. I hope people continue to take pages out of this and so these guys can get set up for life after a sport, because, we jokingly call people old in these sports, and they're not actually that old. They're not actually that old. 30 to 35 is old in sports. It's not that actually old as a person.
No.
So you still got another 30 to 40 years working life if you want there.
Hopefully,
so
yeah.
That's just it. So yeah, these guys need to do something afterwards, and to see people thinking ahead and taking care of these guys, and it can't be stated how big that is for these people. Yeah. So
it's something here at the Fantasy Rugby Yanks we applaud and encourage.
Yeah, absolutely. So RPA, well done. Restart Rugby, we like it. Somebody find us something red so we can plaster that stuff all over the place here. All right, to the actual rugby.
Oh yeah, playing the people who still play.
Yeah, Champions Cup.
What an excellent weekend of rugby.
I stupidly called it quarterfinal last week. Semifinal. Semifinal. Yeah. To say that I was not jumping up and down is a lie, because I was absolutely jumping with nerves, and I'm just like, yeah, is this going to go well? Is this going to? This is before the match, and I'm pacing already. The boss is just like, sit down.
I was slightly more confident than Jarrod, yet I was not showing it, because I was keeping that internalized, because we found out what happened when I externalized it. It made some people mad at me.
Yeah,
well, by some people I mean
the karma out there definitely got mad at you a little bit.
Yeah,
thankfully it got overridden, but good lord. But yeah, so it was the scoreline probably flatters them a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. Saracens beat Munster 32-16 at the Rico on what looked like a glorious day for rugby in Coventry.
Yeah, a lot of people dressing up. Some as empty seats.
Yeah, and some as Munster fans.
Oh, a lot as Munster fans. Speaking of a sea of red.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Right. Yeah. Different story for a second here. But they controlled it to start. They controlled the outburst. I mean, Munster's defense was just. It really just, they brought the defense, but they just didn't have the creativity to overcome the offense that was coming at them as well. So
yeah, Sarries controlled the field position very well. If you look at the scores, so I think if anything, I kind of would go the opposite way, that the score line kind of flatters the Sarries. I'd say it almost flatters Munster in a way. They had 9 of their points were off of penalties where I don't even think they were inside the 22. I mean, they may have gotten inside the 22.
I can't tell you.
It really wasn't. There were very few scoring. So if you kind of do a if you translate this to hockey, where teams they have scoring opportunities. You say, oh, there's a scoring chance there. Sarries had a lot more scoring chances, owned a lot more of the field position. Munster was really kicking for points when they could, just to
try and keep pace.
Keep pace on the scoreboard. There wasn't really a time where Munster were threatening to take over the game. They could have won on the scoreboard. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but they weren't in any position really at any time to control the match.
No, probably not. That's probably accurate. No Joey Carberry was very obvious in this match. Not to put Blendall or Hanrahan to the sword or anything like that, but Joey Carberry is just so special.
Yeah.
And then no Keith Earls. That's a thing that is not probably wasn't talked about enough. It was no Joey Carberry, and we just talked about it obviously, but no Keith Earls. He is an experienced player. He's lifted this trophy if I'm not mistaken before. He's been a part of all these semifinal losses that Munster have had to endure. He is such an undervalued, at least from the way they were talking about it, asset to this team. He could have been such a huge part of this team in order to get him go forward ball, and just he's another level of wing. He really is. He's a class wing. He obviously did a lot for the Irish in Six Nations, however good or bad you considered them during it, but still I'd say he was one of the standout players. So yeah, without him, that was a huge thing for them for sure. So no Carberry, no Earls, definitely hurt. Mm-hmm. Definitely hurt this team. And thankfully, Saracens had pretty much the full plethora. Mako returned.
Yeah.
That was a big thing. Wigglesworth was able to make the bench, and Brad Barrett returned to the 12, although he came off at halftime, but his replacement looked just fine. Nick Tompkins is still a damn good player. People are still undervaluing him, in my opinion. But, yeah, he looked pretty damn good. I'm loving it.
Yeah, they really showed their class and their depth, having all those guys back. Mm-hmm. I mean, both Vunipolas and Itoje, having just that trio there, it's been a while. It's been a while since we've seen it.
Yeah, really. And you saw Alex Good on the field. Maitland had to drop late, which was a little concerning to start, but Dave Strettle just sitting there on the bench, no big deal.
Excuse me. And that's that depth.
Yeah, it is. Lewington came onto the bench and he came on late, but it was Strettle and Liam Williams, bomb diffuser at large.
Yes,
bomb diffuser in chief. He was doing his thing as he does best. Saracens take care of business, and I am happy to say that we are going to Newcastle.
And we would be remiss, because there's two words in our title of our pod, rugby and Yanks. Mm-hmm. So we would be absolutely remiss if we did not mention the outstanding play of Titi Lamosatelli.
Yes.
The nice, still young American prop who got the start.
He played. I thought he played amazing
for Sarries and had himself a day.
Yeah, like to keep Vincent Koch away from the starting position from that 3 shirt is a task in itself. Vincent Koch's a very good player. He plays for South Africa, for God's sake. He's not a nobody.
He's no slouch.
So for TT to do that, like Ben said, very young, and definitely going to be an anchor for the United States Eagles come World Cup time in hopefully. Japan. So I was excited to see him start, and I was really anxious to see how he was going to do, because I was hoping, man, I really hope he does well, because it'd be a shame for him to put a rotten performance in a big match like this, and he shined. Mm-hmm. He shined. So I was very happy for that. So awesome job, TT. We love you, bud.
Yeah. Can we talk about the one issue where if we're going to talk about the thing that I think you enjoy a lot more than I do, which is the going for the scrum penalties, and how that combined with a cheeky foot, shall we say?
Oh yeah,
from Connor Murray.
From Murray
to kick the ball that was still in the scrum, to kick it out. I did not enjoy the Saracens looking for a scrum penalty deep in their own end.
No, that was probably not a good idea.
And at some point, and to me that's a coaching correction that needs to be made, where you need to especially with a whistling frog on the field.
Yeah.
You never know what they're going to do.
No.
So you can't.
No referee knows what he's doing at the scrum time anyway.
Right. So you can't just say, "Oh, we're dominant in the scrum and something isn't quite looking right, so we're going to get a penalty." At some point, you have to realize that's either going to be the referee has advantage already, and you should play it, or he's not going to give you the penalty and you should play it.
Yeah.
And
either way, let's get the ball going here.
Either way, it's time to play the fucking ball.
Yeah.
And instead they fucked around with it on their own 5-meter line, and it got put in their try zone. So so to me that was the one. It's bad because of how it was scored and the mental mistakes that Saracens made to
and
allow
Good got
it.
caught out too.
Right.
And slipped up.
But on the same side, the one real score, well, not real, but one try that Munster had was off of a mental mistake inside the Sarries' own 5-meter line.
Right.
So I'm okay with it in the long run.
Yeah.
That it means they played if that's the biggest complaint I have from the match.
They probably played a pretty damn good match, and they did.
Right.
They
and
really
especially
did.
that was my one real complaint about the whistling frog, because
I thought it was going to be a penalty. I also thought Conor Murray probably did something he shouldn't have, but at the same time, pick the damn ball up. Pick the damn ball up and go.
Yeah.
But Rhodesy gets over. Billy V gets over. Billy V. I have to say there was a really, really misleading headline that was put up by, I don't know what nationality news site it was, sports site it was, might have been Kiwi, saying how he's continuing to be a jerk or something like that because he's not changing. Listen, he said, I didn't mean to offend anybody. I'm not trying to put anybody down, but he's standing up for his beliefs. That's fine. You have a religion, you have a belief. That's fine. He made a mistake. He also admitted that. So let it go.
And I feel like at this point, ultimately, what Billy's point is, and I just by understanding with him doesn't mean I agree with him, is that the player in question has his beliefs and he's entitled to them, and we should leave him alone. That seems to be his support more so than I think he was right to say what he said.
Yeah, probably more along those lines.
So he phrased it inelegantly, let's put it that way, and he deserves the boos that he's getting.
Yeah, that I won't argue
I'm
with.
fine with that. I'm fine. He's going to get booed for a little bit, but this will blow over for him as long as he is a little bit smarter in the future. But I'm perfectly fine with seeing him get booed and hearing him get booed for now.
Yeah, so
maybe
go
at
past.
the start of the fall it'll be.
I didn't happen to see the pitch invader, but it sounds like they're going to try and do something to tighten up security to make sure that doesn't happen, because you got a little. I mean, if you got the nuts to go assault Billy V, you're either very, very drunk or you're very, very stupid.
Or you're armed or something.
Yeah, maybe that.
We don't really want any of
hopefully
that.
Hopefully not that.
Right.
But yeah, so you're probably one of the first two there, and that's maybe not the wisest move for you, because I assume Billy and his brother probably wouldn't back down either. So you're taking on both of them opposed. Godspeed.
Yeah.
Good luck. So Saracens take down Munster 32-16. Move on to the final in a couple weeks here. It's going to be in Newcastle, and I am so excited to see them in another final, and God, I hope they can pull this off.
We'll see.
Yeah. So, their opponents, Leinster 30, Toulouse 12. This was the bad Toulouse that showed up. This was play that showed up, not the there's a difference between play and the flair of the French rugby. This was definitely the bad version of it.
Well, the fuck are you doing starting Dupont at 10?
I had no idea. I saw that. I was like, wait, are we sure that's right?
Jarrod and I spent weeks, if you've listened to us, just gushing about Dupont and Intimac, and how that's going to be the French 9-10 combination for a long, long time. Why is that not Toulouse's?
I don't know. And Zach Holmes is suspended for this match too, so there was no reason to not do it.
In a do or die match, you fuck with your 15. Very French.
Yeah, very extremely French. But it was, I guess I understand the creativity behind it, but at the same time, like, I don't know if maybe this guy's got a bone to pick with Intimac. I have no idea.
Yeah, because also Intimac doesn't have to play 10. He could play anywhere in
that
back line.
He could play 12. He could play fullback.
Yeah.
So pick one.
Right.
You'd be fine. Grant Ramos is at fullback, and he's probably one of the fastest guys on the team.
Yeah, you're not gonna bump Ramos. That's fine. But
Yeah, no, but put him in the
there's
team
other
somewhere.
options.
God damn it. So no, you're not wrong about that. Yeah, Leinster just seemed to have control of this game almost the whole way. When Toulouse started kicking penalties, I'm thinking, okay, we'll see what happens. And then the yellow card came, and then the floodgates opened, and not really, but because then Leinster got a yellow card and but yeah, nope. It was as soon as Gray got the yellow card, I was like, that might be bad news.
That was a bad yellow card. That was
yeah.
It was building. It was coming to it.
Knucklehead.
Yeah. And we.
Jesus, I'm dying over here. I'm slowly dying over here. Sorry.
What amuses me, to no end, and will always amuse me, is Wayne Barnes speaking French very stiffly.
Yes,
very technically, yes, good French. I'm not gonna.
He speaks more French than I do.
Right. And I can translate in my head what he's saying, which is why it's funny because it's very slow and deliberate because he's speaking a foreign language to him.
Yeah, it's a different language for him. So
and I'm sure the French players are happy that he's doing that for them. It's just really funny because if you went to France and spoke like that, they would just be merciless.
They'd berate him.
My family has a story. My grandfather one time when he went to France with my grandmother, and they didn't like it that he was trying to speak English. So he's like, all right. So he tried to speak French, and it was so bad that they said, you know what? Just speak the English. It's okay. Everywhere he went, they're like, no, don't even stop. Just stop. You're killing this. This hurts us too much. We'll speak English.
We'll speak English. We promise. Yeah, that's funny. So it's going to be... I mean, the Leinster machine was in full flow. Obviously, Sexton at the helm is a big difference between him and Ross Byrne. Mm-hmm. Ross Byrne's a quality player. But no, not the same. Just not the same. I mean, you talk about World Player of the Year and your second choice fly half. Right. There is going to be a gap. That's just how it is. So I am very scared of this Leinster team. This Ferrari. This is not quite the tank that likes to roll people over. They have the ability to cut you up.
Well, they have James Lowe.
Yep,
and that's the big difference.
Yeah, he's done it. He did a damn good job.
The Sarries took care of what I would think of France's most electric player. I'm not sorry, Ireland's most electric player, and dangerous in Conor Murray.
Yeah, probably
as a weapon. But Lowe is not he's not Irish.
Not far, yeah.
But he can do some things that I don't think any of the Irish wings can. Not with Zebo.
Yeah,
out of the lineup.
Right.
So
yeah, he's very very good.
Right. That's gonna be interesting to deal with.
Yeah, this is the clash that a lot of people touted would probably occur. Obviously, two home country teams. Yeah. So, I mean, some people said it would be French English. Some people said it'd be all Irish. But nope, it is English and Irish showdown at Newcastle. Probably a fairly appropriate venue. So that'll be a good one. St. James Park will be on fire. Anybody that wants to send us tickets, I wouldn't say no.
We would not turn them down.
Just saying. So yeah, it's going to be a great final. Saracens and Leinster, these are two of the class acts in Europe for sure. Leinster obviously have a boatload of titles to their name. Saracens are trying to climb up into that elite category with a third title. So it'll be a great match either way. This is either going to be Leinster taking the lead in terms of number of European titles, or Saracens putting themselves in that elite category for European teams.
So the question I have is that Newcastle the final at Newcastle, is that going to be the last match this season played at Newcastle's home?
Well, no, because it won't be at Kingston Park. It'll be at St. James.
Okay.
So yeah, nope. It'll be.
So it's like that. They're going to be. I texted Jarrod saying hosts and ghosts. So I still think that. Yeah, we'll deal with that when we get there.
We'll deal with that. We'll get that bridge when we cross it. Yeah, something to that effect. So yeah, looking forward to Newcastle, Irish English. Here we go. All right. The other rugby that's being played this weekend, Super Rugby, Chiefs Lions. Lions controlled this game quite a bit. They really did. They
jumped
just
out to an early lead and just
never let go.
Nope.
They really never did. Yanchis played 12. That was an odd one to me.
Well, they got to shake it up.
Yeah. No, yeah, they needed to. They hadn't played very well the last couple matches. So,
although usually you want a 12 who can tackle, but that's
yeah.
Especially against Anton Leonard Brown, but it looks like he bottled him up pretty well.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of room to move. I mean, very evident that the man missing from here was Damian McKenzie.
Yeah,
missing a lot of creativity there. But give the Lions credit. Warren Whiteley played a great match in his first match back since like week 2, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give him a lot of credit, or at least his first full match, I think. He played like 70 out of 80 minutes in his first start for a while. So he rocked up and put in a hell of a shift for them. They had Quagga Smith back, which certainly helped as well. Their back row with Whiteley and Quagga Smith is another level when they're both healthy. So
it's okay.
That's
it's okay.
Yeah, and Malcolm Marks like basically vetoed De Bruyne and said, I'm starting. I was like, wow, he pulled a power move. Okay. Yeah. So, Lions take down the Chiefs 23-17. Still kind of a toss-up in terms of the South Africa Conference, but they are maybe putting themselves right back in the conversation at the very least.
Well, yeah, they're just a point behind the leader.
Yeah, and they're technically in the quarterfinal at this point.
Yeah, and the Chiefs fall to the bottom of the table.
Yeah, bottom of the New Zealand Conference. Table. Yeah, please. Most New Zealand teams will never be at the bottom of the table outright.
Well, they're close though.
Yeah, you got a little bit of ways to go till the Sunwolves catch you.
Sunwolves, yeah, but one team difference is not. It's a little too close.
Right. Speaking of Sunwolves. Woo! Hurricanes pulled it out of the fire.
They did.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. That was...
Wes Goosen is the hero. Big time.
Yeah.
With his little chip kick and follow through. It was I love the guy. When he's not starting, I'm usually pissed. Honestly, let's be real. But also, at the same time, where do you put Chase Tiatia? Where do you put Jordy Barrett? Yeah, exactly. Leaves me questioning too. I'm like, I don't know. And you have to have Ben Lamb on the field. So
I think that's what they call a good problem to have.
It is. I greatly enjoy having a problem as such. TJ led the troops in this one for sure. He was definitely driving the bus. Obviously, he got over the line, but he was really just driving this team on to try and get them going. You could see it though. Listen, and I'm sure you know this. Humidity in Japan ain't no joke.
No.
And I'm pretty sure this Hurricanes team got tired at the end of the first half because you could see guys just like, they wanted to run and there was nothing. They had nothing in the tank. Yeah. I was like, that's not good. Yeah.
So you're running through soup.
Yes.
And your sweat's not evaporating, and it's just sticking to you. Your jersey, like even it's not as bad as when we had the old like cotton jerseys.
No, right.
But it's still not good because your jersey just gets soaked and it doesn't go anywhere.
I was just thinking about that. Actually, the jerseys we were talking about with James today. I was like, oh yeah, those jerseys, those big thick ones.
Right.
Yeah. Thankfully, we're not wearing those anymore.
That would have been undoable in that kind of those circumstances, but. Yeah, it's definitely, in the U.S. we talk about every so often, if you make it to the club championships in the U.S., you're playing out in Colorado, which is a lot of fun, but it's also extremely high altitude.
Yeah.
And it's hard to breathe, so it's hard to move, so it fucks with you. You have to prepare for it.
Absolutely.
And there's really no way to do it, unfortunately. Nope. Same thing goes for humidity. If you don't know how to deal with humidity, if you're not used to it, even if you go away from it for a while. Like I've up in Boston, it's not terribly humid. I go back to Philadelphia and it's like in the summer, it's gross all the time. It's because it's so fucking humid.
Yeah.
I mean, and it does get somewhat humid here in Boston, but it's not the same. You just cannot prepare for it.
There's a different level.
You cannot prepare for it.
But yeah. So they had a game plan to stick Bosayako in the midfield, who's a back rower normally for them, to deal with the problem that is Nanaila Mape. But then basically the second he had to slide back into the back row, Lamapi had his way.
Yeah.
He Vasayako had a great game. Don't get me wrong.
He did.
He had a very good game. He was all over the place. He was making tackles. I think he stopped a try. He was very good. Can't take anything away from him, but clearly that strategy was working. Yeah. But the second that they had to go to Plan B because of substitutes, it caused problems.
Yeah,
because Lamapi had the space to run that he didn't have before, and he torched him. So, and I'll say this, and I had a problem with him I had a problem with this position the last time Bowden Barrett didn't play. Mm-hmm. Fletcher Smith played very, very well. Played very, very well.
Very competently.
Yes. Didn't make me be like, oh boy, we are so screwed.
Didn't look out of place. It felt, it obviously wasn't Barrett.
Yeah, very few people are.
Yeah, that's not fair.
But no way.
It wasn't like, some mook off the street that they just picked out and said, "Yeah, go try this for a little bit." Yeah, he definitely looked like he belonged, and
he played out of his skin. I was very satisfied with his play. Kicked well. Can't ask for anything better. So, Hurricanes pulled out of the fire, 29-23 after. Summels are having halftime problems. That's not good. That's not good for them. They need to fix that if they're going to have any shot at not embarrassing themselves this year. They're still not a pushover, but they're still having problems. Sharks and Reds. Reds, I picked them last week. Mm-hmm. Just kind of like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm doing it. It worked. Yeah. I have no idea. I didn't get a chance to watch this match. Obviously, Bryce Haggerty has had his way with them. No surprise there. He seems to kind of be one of those guys that's just matchup proof at this point and able to do as he sees fit as long as he's playing in the lineup. But Reds took care of business. Karevi apparently is the consensus MVP for the season so far. So that basically tells you how much he means to the Reds and how much they need to get him the ball.
Right. It's also impressive since where they are on the table.
Yeah, which isn't good.
Right. It's not good, but if he's playing lights out, then that's amazing.
Yeah.
They need some help.
Yes, they do.
Haggerty just isn't enough at the moment, but like you said, it was enough for this match.
It is. Again, Sharks are almost becoming kind of Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah.
Not sure which team's showing up that day. So they need to definitely figure out a way to get more consistent if they want to have a shot at top of the table for South Africa, or at least grabbing a spot. Although right now the spot they're grabbing would probably put them against the Crusaders, which I wouldn't be signing up for. So
wouldn't be my first choice.
No, or at least it'll be near there. So Reds take care of the Sharks 21-14. I think the Reds are going into their first bye since week 1, so they'll get some rest. And they'll come back firing, and we'll see what happens. And as I said before, Tate McDermott owns that 9 shirt. Mm-hmm. He clearly owns that 9 shirt. Sorry, Moses Sorovi, you are out. The Highlanders and the Blues. This was a very good match. This was freaking intense, to say the least. Big turning point was the fattest intercept try. See ya. Read the pass well. Bye-bye. He almost did it again.
Yeah, well, he's done that. He's done that a couple times this season.
I think so. Yeah,
that's kind of becoming his thing.
Yes. Ma'ananu is probably. Let's put it this way: he's going to cause headaches for All Black selectors because they're going to be like, "Shit, do we bring him or not?"
Yeah.
Do we really need to bring him?
That's one of those
yeah.
How do you not bring him? But at the same time,
the other things you have, are they better?
Yeah.
Oh boy, maybe less. Maybe that 32nd, whatever it is.
He'd be on the travel. He's got to be on the traveling squad.
Yeah.
Just in case, because it's like one of these. If you have a tough match, you have maybe if you got some guys banged up, mm-hmm. and you're just like, you know what? I know I can get one solid 80 out of him.
Boom, done.
There it is. This is your match.
Yeah.
Or even if it's like you want to play your kind of second side against
one of the lesser teams
in your pool, and he can,
and he'll lead them.
He'll lead. Yeah, he'll be the leader. He'll be the one who's guiding them and
100%.
And yeah, that's the kind of guy you want is somebody who's on the back end, but he's been there before. And he's still fucking dangerous and a stud, just not what he used to be. Mm-hmm. He's got to go.
Yeah, he does. Tom Robinson, Nanu hook up for the Blues' eventual try. I will say a fancy note about Tom Robinson. So he has been playing 6. He's actually a lock. And as much as we know, locks are a position that doesn't score a ton because of where they play. They're not super dynamic. They're not the first in the open field. Such like this is how you steal those points, though. Find a guy that's playing second row on the game, but plays a loose forward. Done. And to look at the opposite of that, Tyler Ardron for the Chiefs, he's listed as a loose forward, has been deployed primarily as a second row.
Yeah,
so
that's not
when he I think it was the first game of the year, he was deployed as their 8-man and played very well and scored very well as well. So kind of the two ends of that. So just kind of look out for that. And we talked about guys that play fly half that are playing outside back and vice versa. Those are almost interchangeable in some ways. Midfielder to outside back, unless you're an elite midfielder, maybe you don't want that.
Well, I mean, I still have
outside back to midfielder. Let's put it that way. Maybe that's the way I meant.
Right, because I have Curtly Beale playing in my midfield, but he's playing 15.
Yes,
and I have Bryce Hegarty at outside back, and he's playing 10. So I'm all over the place. I got Rada playing lock.
Wow. Yeah, and he plays. He's been playing 5, but still, he's very good. He's very good, and he can be deployed as a 6, I believe.
Right.
So, speaking of Curtly Beale, Waratahs topped the Rebels. They really stifled them. They really did.
Yeah.
And obviously, they had to make a comeback on top of it. Rebels got to figure out how to freaking finish these guys off because second year in a row that this has happened.
Yeah. I think
so, and Quade Cooper, again another. Off. Honestly, at this point, it's Bernard Foley's 10th shirt probably, and Quade Cooper's probably going to have to come off the bench for the Aussies if he wants to play in the World Cup because Foley's been more consistent. I'm not a huge Bernard Foley fan. Let me just establish that. He's been more consistent than Quade.
That's that difference. It's the same thing that when we're talking England rugby, it's without Eddie Jones, but we're talking about somebody like Faz versus Cipriani,
right? And
that's that same kind of battle, except I wouldn't say quite at that level, but between Foley and Cooper.
Agreed. Yeah. So the Rebels did not play their best match. They had a decent first half, but then Waratahs turned it on in the second half and really took it home. Give them all the credit in the world. The Waratahs, they played their socks off in that second half, and they knew they needed it because, like we talked about last week, this would have put the Rebels far and away ahead. Far away. So that would have been bad news if they had managed to lose this, especially at home.
Yeah,
that would not have gone well. So Waratahs take care of the Rebels 23-20. And they inch themselves closer to the Aussie Conference. Rebels still in first, but they at least get themselves back in the conversation.
4-point difference for now.
Right. And the final match of the weekend, Stormers and Brumbies. This was actually fairly entertaining as well. Brumbies controlled it. They did. Then they knew they needed to control this because, we talked about how the Stormers like to play. They are definitely a South African team. They love set pieces. Mm-hmm. Stephen Kitsoff. Sia Khaleesi, the likes.
Yeah.
Although Khaleesi came off the bench. But, yeah, the likes of that. They love their set pieces. Etzebeth when he's healthy. That's what they like. They really love to just go line out, scrum, let their big boys beat you. And to give the Brumbies credit, they really, really, really had to hold their own against a solid Stormers pack, and they controlled the game. Rory Arnold played out of his skin. Obviously, score sheet here tells us that he had a damn good match.
Yes, it does.
Highest score in the match. No Lockie McCaffrey for the Brumbies, but still had a damn good second row between Samu and Cusack, and I'm trying to think of the other guy, but yeah, still had a good one. And there's still, that's without McCaffrey, that's without Pocock. Pocock actually got sent home.
Okay. Oh.
So that's not good. Bad sign for Brumbies.
Yeah, not a good sign.
Yeah, maybe they need to just put him on the shelf to the World Cup.
Yeah.
if they even want him to play, honestly. It's an unfortunate thing to see. Penalty try was given in this match.
Oh.
Brumbies gave up a break to Janchis, Herschel Janchis, and he was definitely going to score, if not for a high tackle.
Ooh.
And, they had to review it, but in my personal opinion, that was the right decision.
Okay.
Absolutely the right decision. It was the second it happened, I'm like, that was high.
Yeah.
And he stopped a try. That's a penalty try. Bingo, done. And they both teams, because the referee blew it for halftime, but then he got the check from the earpiece, and he's like, nope, we got to come back, we got a check from the TMO here. I was like, I thought that was going to happen. Yeah. I was disappointed when at first he blew for the half, and then thankfully the TMO said, no, wait a minute, get back here, you guys got to talk about this. So it was at least the referee team was able to get that one right. Brumbies 19, Stormers 17. Brumbies maybe starting to find some momentum. We'll see what happens here. They got a little hole to dig themselves out of, but getting on the right trail at least here.
Not that bad. They're only 5 points behind the Rebels, and 1 point behind the Taz. So,
right.
So they're within shooting distance of the top of the table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So good for them. All right. Well, I paid you $1.
Yes. So.
Ben smoked me.
I did.
Let's be honest here. Ben smoked me. I had an absolutely torrid week for this competition. I don't know what happened with my team.
You had a great week.
Well,
not great, but decent enough. I had I have 5 wins so far this season, and I think 2 of them are when I scored. Well, this one I scored 171 points. The other one I scored like almost 300. It was ridiculous. So. Every so often, I pop off a
couple of my substitutes that I pulled off the waiver wire were not great. Jamie Booth got me minus 0.9. I might as well have played Aaron Smith who came in for a half, and Jack Dempsey minus 1.4. If I had known Khaleesi was going to play for a majority of the game, I would have played him.
Right.
So oopsie.
Yeah.
Tom English, who's usually one of my big hitters, he had 0.1.
Yeah.
Dupree again starting fly half usually doesn't do me wrong. Doesn't do me fantastically usually, but doesn't usually do me wrong. 2.6.
Yeah,
bad.
I didn't expect much from 2 of my reserve players that I had to play. One of them I'd picked up Showman.
Oh, Schumann?
Schumann.
Yeah, Martin Schumann.
Again,
not much there.
Not used to. I'm sorry.
Not your. Well, he didn't start, but still.
No, he was coming off the bench.
Points are points. I suppose.
Points are points. I got 2.3 from him, and then O'Terry Black.
Yeah,
had to put it fly half because Bowden wasn't playing.
Oh, right.
And he only got me 1.5.
Yeah,
but every other
the rest of your normals.
The rest of my normals did very well. I was somehow smart enough to substitute the Chiefs front row in for Highlanders front row, and that got me at least I got 22 out of the Chiefs front row, and I'm not sure the Highlanders front row didn't even make your list. So that was a good substitution on my end.
Nope.
And then Masarewa.
Yeah, he's been scoring handfuls of points at this point.
The 2 people we talked about from that Hurricane Sunwolves match, the Masarewa and TJ Perinara, both of them
are on your team.
lit it up for me.
Yeah, you played the Chiefs front row. The Lions front row doesn't give up that many points, so I'm surprised.
Yeah, well, I was like, it was one of these. I kind of flipped the coin, but I was like, I think you had the Highlanders. I thought they were one of your. They had a red.
I can check in 2 seconds here.
And the Lions the Chiefs weren't neither red nor green. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go with
my front rows. My red front rows were Reds and Sharks, and then Hurricanes and Lions. Hurricanes, Lions, Blues were the greens.
All right.
I feel proud. I got both my green and my green light and my stop sign this week. Lions front row got 20-ish.
All right.
Something like that. And Wilgenia got 9.
20.4. Okay.
Wilgenia usually scores around 15. Yeah. So
yes,
I will call that a win.
Back on the
back on the winning streak.
Yeah.
I'll put green lights and stop signs for both Premiership and Super Rugby up tomorrow. So if you're listening to this, it's probably up now. All right, let's go to Pick'em. Big week, final 3 weeks, final stretch run here for Premiership. So it's going to be a lot of we kind of have a feeling that we know how a couple of things are going to go. Top 2 is pretty much determined, with the exception of I'm a little nervous about what the hell the Saracens are going to do because their Premiership form's not exactly great. But we'll see what happens with that. Top 1's definitely in. So that pencil in Exeter for 1 and Homestead. They already have a home semifinal locked in. So bottom of the table, we're kind of in agreement of what's going to happen there. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
and then it's really up to top 4 and top 6. That's where the fun starts. So let's get into that. Sale and Bath. It's Sale at home. Sale has a new signing.
Yes, they do.
Lou Diaga.
Yes. Another
South
African going to Sale.
So if you include de Klerk, who's already on the damn team, John Ross, who's technically South African, although I guess he's England eligible now because they were talking about him playing for England. I was like, whatever. He's South African born just the same. Akker van der Merwe, hooker from the Sharks, and Robert Dupria, the 10 for the Sharks. So we'll see how that goes.
Right.
Springboks do Sale.
We have we have the Sale box, and we have the Wasps, Kiwis,
the all Wasps.
All Wasps.
Wow, simply wow.
And as we were saying, as we were kind of setting up for the pod, it's kind of surprising that there's no Aussie team. Except it's not that surprising because the players aren't really.
Well,
they don't
and
have the
Czech is
depth
a real jerk about you have to play in the country.
Right. Well, maybe not South Africa.
South Africa's very loose with it.
Right, but New Zealand's also the same way.
But they have a plethora of talent.
Exactly.
That being the difference.
And Australia just doesn't have the
doesn't
depth.
have quite that plethora. So.
Right. So they don't have guys who are either too old to play on the, because they don't have much elderly talent in Australia. No. Curtly Beale, for some reason, isn't deciding to move north for
not yet. Maybe after the World Cup.
Right.
But he could be Australia's answer at 15 for he who shall not be named. Didn't look too bad for the Waratahs this past weekend there. So maybe Czech is paying attention. Yeah. We'll see.
Anyway, the point being that Australia isn't good enough to send their players overseas and have a decent starting 15 that you can make out of their premiership players.
All right. So what we were doing before. Sale Bath. Sale at home, Bath on the road. Sale looking to try and climb into top 4, if not at least lock in top 6.
Well, these are 7-8, and they're separated by 1 point.
Yeah.
In
the
table.
What's the separation between like them and 4th?
So the separation. So 4 right now is Quins, and they have 50 points.
Right.
So a bonus point win separates Bath from Quins, and there's 6 points difference between Quins and Sale.
No kidding. Okay. Well, so yeah, they're both going to be fighting like hell to at least get in the Champions Cup spot.
And not only that, but between Bath and Wasps, there's 2 points to get to 5, and then 6 is Northampton with 46. So you have from 5 to 8, you have 47, 46, 45, 44 points.
Damn.
So
it is tight.
This is tight.
It's a logjam.
This match could determine who has a shot.
Right. Yeah, and 7th does get a Champions Cup playoff with the 7th place from France, unless I'm wrong about that. That's how it has been. So, 7th isn't ideal, but you talk about like English Premier League, people still shoot for top 4, even though they know that 4th place is going to have to do a playoff. But most of the English teams usually win it. So,
but I am gonna go. I'm gonna go with kind of my heart here, and I'm gonna support our Freddie Burns.
Oh yeah, all right.
I want to see him. I want to see him be in. I don't want to see him have no shot. At a playoff spot.
Fair enough.
So I'm gonna go Bath.
Okay. Friday night. I have to pick AJ.
It's tough not to.
Yeah, I have to pick. This is a 50-50. This is a real coin toss.
It's a friend of the pod versus. Well, he doesn't know he's friends with the pod, but he's
we like him anyway.
He's an honorary member.
Yeah,
and versus AJ, who is also an honorary member.
Honorary member because he's a United States Eagle. Newcastle Saints. This could be the determining fate of the Newcastle Falcons, depending on what happens in other matches.
Sale. Saints.
Yeah.
Saints.
Same. Gotta back my boys. My other boys.
Yeah. Your side piece. My admiring from a distance piece.
Yeah, fair enough. Look, but don't touch.
Right.
Exeter Quins. Exeter at Sandy Park.
So now we're getting back into that same question that we had around the Saracens. Do Exeter sit some people.
I don't know. I don't.
Do we know how Cordero's doing?
I haven't seen anything. Depends entirely on how Exeter feel about a top spot, because they have a home semifinal locked up. So if they really, really, really want that top spot, then we might be talking about something here.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't care, it's a different story.
Right. But they're gonna have. It's gonna be tough, I think, for Sarries to catch them.
I'm not worried. I'm not really worried about top spot.
And so I don't. And it's gonna be. I don't see Gloucester catching them.
Yeah.
No, they can't. Right.
No, I don't think they can. So there you go.
So there's really no reason for Exeter to really go balls out here.
Nope.
So I'm going to go with the Quins.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the team that needs it more.
They do.
And we need that ass tattoo.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
The world needs Joe Marler's face on Jim Hamilton's
bum. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I'm not picking Exeter. Excuse me, away from Sandy Park. Or at Sandy Park, rather.
Right.
At Sandy Park, Exeter all day.
All right.
Leicester and Bristol. Leicester at Welfare Row, more or less escaped from relegation. Bristol definitely escaped from relegation.
Yeah.
So, mathematically, no, but probably.
Yeah. Leicester had a trio of signings this week. They went.
Yeah, they
had
did.
A flurry.
They had a flurry. They had a big one.
Yeah. And so good for them. Fuck them.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they're trying to get their recruitment right.
Yeah.
Although, I mean,
they have work to do.
We'll see. We'll see what comes of it. I think their best signing so far has been Tafua, in terms of next year. So,
and I'm going to go with Leicester.
Yep.
As much as I don't want to.
Yeah, Leicester at home. Shit. I think you're right, but we did hear a possible rumor of Bristol and Pat Lam rejoining ranks with AJ McGinty next year. Especially with Robert Dupree going to Sale. We'll see how that plays out.
I would love that.
Yeah, I mean, which would probably mean, honestly, Ian Madigan probably is out, the third man out of that one, which, nothing against Mags, but they're going to hang on to Sheedy. He's too young. He's too good.
Yeah, you can't just give that up.
Nope, I wouldn't. All right. Oh, back to the headache that is the Saracens in the Premiership, especially away from home. Ugh.
I think they take this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're still they're going to ride high a little bit off of that because they've been on a little bit of a schneid. Even when they've been winning, they've been not looking good doing it until this past weekend.
Right.
And sometimes it just takes that little bit. I'm sure Barrett's playing no matter what.
Yeah,
I can't imagine he's getting a rest. And then that to me that's enough. They can even play some of their shags,
okay,
and sprinkle them in if they need to. I don't know that they need to. I think they still need to make sure now that because they had their starting 15 in place for the first time in a long time, all together,
get some chemistry going.
That they need to keep working together. So I think they're gonna.
You'll see a pretty strong lineup.
They're gonna have a little bit of a training run, I think.
Yep.
Depending on the lineup.
Okay. I want to be wrong about this. I'm going to pick loss.
Oh my!
Just because we haven't won on the road I don't think we've won on the road since week 1.
Damn.
So it's not been good.
No.
It's not been good. It's been a while since we went on the road. I think Quins was the last road win.
Wow.
Yeah, at the Stoop with Billy V mimicking Danny Care's celebration.
Battle of the Stirs.
Worcester and Gloucester. Worcester will be without Bryce Heem for the rest of the year. His ban for his tip tackle in the Challenge Cup has been upheld after his appeal. So that's how his career, unfortunately, is going to end for Worcester, which sucks because he is a fantastic player.
Right, not the way you want to.
No, you got to feel for him a little bit.
A little bit.
He's going to France to make a boatload of money.
Right.
So
I'm not going to cry.
Yeah, I'm not sad about that, but
either way, enough talk about those losers. I'm going with Gloucester.
Yeah, Gloucester still have an outside shot at taking a home semifinal, so they're going to take their shot for sure. And they still need a win or two to lock up the semifinal for themselves, even if it's not home.
Right. So they need this.
Right.
Certainly a lot more than Worcester does. So, because Worcester, again, 7 points up on Newcastle.
Yep.
They'll know heading into the match what Newcastle has done.
Yes.
Because Newcastle plays on Friday. So, I assume that Newcastle is going to get crushed by the Saints. That's the way I'm looking at it. If that happens, there's not much pressure on Worcester. So it's not. I don't think it's going to be a match that they need. They're not going to. I don't think they're going to play with the kind of intensity that they're going to need to beat Gloucester.
Right. Yeah.
Especially with Gloucester getting healthy again. I'm looking forward to Pellegrini being back. Maybe cracking the 15 this week.
I mean, it's hard to shove Creel and Ackerman out of the way.
It is.
So to be fair, but that's a good problem for Johan Ackerman to have.
Yes, it is.
All right, down under. Crusaders and Lions. Crusaders off the bye. Lions off a big win against the Chiefs. You're not going to really convince me to pick anybody but the Crusaders until they prove otherwise.
I've already been writing that down.
Some Wolves and Highlanders. Jeez, them. Are they can't win in Asia. Some Wolves. They find ways to screw it up.
No, but I'm still picking them for this game.
You are? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Getting a little love.
They're
Eddie Jones gave him a little love this week too.
Yeah, well, he should.
Basically telling Japan RFU, not really that it was their fault, but the rest of the world, Sanzar, basically you guys are a bunch of jerks.
Yeah, because they are.
They are.
Highlanders, to me, obviously quality team.
Yeah.
I still think that they're a little flawed, and they can be gotten to by a team like the Sunwolves.
Absolutely.
And I think with the travel,
I did see the starting lineup. Aaron Smith is in it.
Okay.
So that actually might make a difference.
It might make a difference. But look, I'm not catching you if I don't take some chances here. So
fair enough. I'm going to take the Highlanders though, because Aaron Smith is my scrum half when he's healthy.
Yeah.
So I'll take him. Oh. So
we have our dollar bet this week.
So I lost my dollar.
Give this right back to you now.
I lost my dollar, but you know what? If I was going to lose a bet this week of the two that we had decided, I'm going to take the one that I won, which was the NHL bet for picking a team did just a bit better than yours.
Well, now they made it to the next round.
Now they made it to the next round. So we pick a team for the NHL hockey playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs. I think this is my third or fourth year winning in a row now.
Yeah, I don't think I've won since I picked the Blackhawks and they won the cup.
That's true. I forgot about that. That's basically the best that any of the teams we've picked have done, though.
Yes.
Honestly, I think this is the Sharks are the first team that we both have picked that have made it to the next round. Because before, it's always been decided by
games played,
how many games played, and then even I think last year was goals. I was like, geez,
yeah,
that was bad. That was
the second tiebreaker.
So we're not that good at it, but I'm just a little bit less shitty. That's all it is. So
I owe Jarrod a round of golf.
Hooray!
And he owes me $1.
You put that dollar towards that round of golf.
Yeah.
Assuming that you don't lose it this week.
Oh, exactly. I'm going to lose it this week because
I'm picking the Hurricanes.
And I'm picking the Chiefs.
Fair enough.
Because I have to.
Yeah, you're obligated. Warthog and Sharks. Warthog's at home. Oh man, Sharks are not looking good.
They're not. The same thing that I feel like with the Highlanders, a little bit of Jekyll and Hyde there.
Mm-hmm.
But the same goes for the Taz.
No, you're not wrong about that.
But the Taz are at home.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the Taz.
I don't know if it's being played at SCG or wherever it is, but I will take
in their home country.
They're playing around Sydney, so I'll take it.
All right.
I will take the Warthogs as well. South African battle: Stormers and Bulls. Do the Bulls step up and finally say we are the best team in South Africa, or do the Stormers throw yet another wrench into this whole fucking thing? And nope, maybe we are. So we'll see.
I'm going with the Bulls.
I am as well. I have no reason not to. As I said before, I still believe they are the best team in South Africa. So,
and I happen to agree with you on that.
So we'll see. I mean, points wise, they technically are right now, but they're only a point up. Yeah, granted, they had a week off, and a couple other teams didn't. But still, it's getting a little tighter than it should be. If there's definitely a better team here, so let's see if they can finally step up.
Right.
Yeah, Jaguars coming off their bye. Brumbies still on the travels here.
Oof.
This is going to be a tough one to pick.
Brutal, but I'm going to go with the home team against the team that's been the Road Warriors for now.
Yeah, fair enough. My crystal ball is saying to pick Brumbies, and when I say that, I mean I am completely guessing here. So I'm going to go with the Brumbies.
Fair enough. That's what we're always doing.
Yeah, I mean,
we don't know. We technically don't know the lineups when we pick these. So
no, especially the Saturday matchups for Super Rugby and
Right.
and all the Premiership matchups, because we kind of know the Friday matchups for Super Rugby, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's the only ones we can take a guess at. Yeah. So make sure you check us out on Google Play, Spotify, iTunes. Download, rate us. Give us a review because we like them and we'll read them. Even if it's a really terrible one, that's okay. Make sure you shoot us an email, fantasyrugbypodcast@gmail.com. Follow Ben and I, especially myself, if you're looking for fantasy advice. I'm doing my best. I'll do what the numbers tell me and take a stab from there.
Yeah,
that's basically all I'm doing.
we'll give you a look at from the crystal ball and give you our best guess.
Yeah, right. So there's that. We got a lot more rugby to come up again this week. Back to our regularly scheduled shit show filled weekend of rugby. So we're looking forward to it. Off we go. Hopefully Saracens finally get themselves back going. Other than that, thanks for tuning in. Continue to download, and we really appreciate you guys listening. Have a good one. Cheers.
Thanks, everyone.